and they lived happily ever after. How often do we dream of fairy tale love? But in the real world, princes and princesses are rare. More often we meet ordinary people with their own problems and shortcomings. We tell you how to build an ideal relationship with an imperfect partner. The relationship seems to start on its own. Everything happens as if by magic. But if we want this relationship to last, we'll have to roll up our sleeves and get ready to break a sweat. My husband and I recently returned from meeting with couples who have experienced medical problems, infidelities, financial crises, and other trials that are usually left behind the boundaries of novels and fairy tales. The stories sometimes seemed incredible. They left everyone in the room with them with the feeling that hard things didn't mean the end of the relationship. Sometimes this only precedes the happiest periods in a couple's life. Just imagine, no one expected or believed in these difficult times how good they would be together when it was all over. But they believed that it would happen. I've summarized their wisdom into 8 strategies. 1. Understand what stage of the relationship you are currently in. Relationships are living organisms that are constantly growing and changing, taking on different forms. Falling in love. The brain is so saturated with dopamine that a simple trip together to buy groceries at a nearby store looks like a cruise to the Caribbean. Loss of illusions. You begin to wonder if you have fallen out of love with your chosen one. At this time, in search of lost dopamine, some seek attention on the side. Complete rejection. The partner causes nothing but disappointment. Love. If a crisis is recognized and handled with dignity, a deeper feeling will follow. 2. Don't rely only on feelings. Feelings are an unreliable GPS for relationships. If even the navigator sometimes shows the wrong path, what can we say about emotions, which can be influenced by factors such as stress, lack of sleep, and poor health? Like it or not, real relationships are not a collection of feelings, but a series of decisions that we make consciously. Every day, by doing what we need to do to save the relationship, we clear our brains of some of the electrical static that can build up. And this gives more energy to simply love each other. 3. Don't run away from confrontation. You know the expression, gold lies at the bottom of the river, but no one sees it. The same can be said about conflicts and disputes. Don't let them scare you in this case. The feeling of fear can lead you down the wrong path. It is very tempting to avoid conflicts completely or, conversely, to push your partner to ensure that everything is the way you want. But the encounter brings you to a point where you can show nobility and respect to your partner. This is how deeper relationships and more mature love are born from conflicts. And from confrontation, your common family laws emerge. It may be different for everyone, but in your family, this is the only way. Do not start arguments while one of you is hungry or tired. Do not make comments to the person who is driving. Do not remember the past and do not get personal. 4. Understand yourself. Understand your limitations. Everyone has baggage from a past life that shapes their behavior and determines the way they interact with others. Many have already learned to protect themselves with the help of masks, a clown, a caring hen, or a buller. The bottom line is that in relationships with a partner, these masks are very annoying. The person you love needs the real you. 5. Don't just talk. Communicate. When two people just met, they can talk for hours about everything in the world. But such conversations are just the beginning. A real dialogue begins when you feel real experiences behind the words of a loved one and understand that your partner is a huge, complex, and beautiful world. 6. Take the risk of being honest. One of the most powerful impressions of the seminar concerned openness and honesty in relationships. Give your heart to another for complete ownership. Open up and hope for his honesty. This sounds terrible for those who already understood in childhood that not everyone needs to be trusted, and not always. I'm used to opening my heart only briefly, only to immediately close it tightly. But only faith in the other and trust lead to that highest stage of relationships where we feel real kinship. It's one thing to open your heart to someone else in a burst of dopamine generosity, but it's another thing to trust when you're faced with disappointment or doubt. Believe it or not. Remember these words. Glory to the brave who dare to love, knowing that all this will come to an end. Glory to the madman who live as if they were immortal. 7. Learn to see love in iron shirts. We all crave love, but we see it differently. Neatly folded and iron laundry also means I love you. Sometimes such a manifestation of love touches more than verbose confessions and restaurant reservations. Emotional needs are different. For some, it is important to hear words of recognition. For others, it is important to have their partner's time, which is their undivided only him. But someone needs to receive a material expression of care or physically feel a hug every day. Study your partner. Pay attention to what love language he speaks to you. Which of your ways of communicating with him most fully satisfies his needs for showing love? Goodbye again you will be able to say about yourself that you have learned to love, not when you find perfection, but when you learn to see perfection in every imperfect person. When two people spend so much time together, each will have enough clues and ways to offend the other. Yes, sometimes a partner can do not very nice things, but don't forget how beautiful he is in his imperfection. Trust that he is doing his best, trying his best to learn from his mistakes and do better in the future.